Hi, I am Ileri and I'm 16, and today I'm going to be interviewing the lovely Paula Murrihy, who is a mezzo-soprano opera singer, and she has toured all over the world, world-renowned from NYC to Germany, and lives here in our very own Ireland. Hi, Paula. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm thrilled to be here.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you had any mentors or anything that actually kind of built you up or inspired you even more to want to do opera and just kept you going, I guess.
Wow.
If you have any.
That's a very good question. Mentors. I think I've been lucky to have many mentors. Let's see, when I was a very young child, I started to go to the National Folk Theatre of Ireland. I attended these classes weekly, and the founder of this company is a priest named Father Pat Ahern. And I found him to be incredibly inspiring as an educator, as a musician, as somebody in the field of theatre. He was very strict when we were young, and he really had such amazing exacting standards. And I think that sense of professionalism that he instilled, that really set the groundwork for me. It really kind of set the bar quite high. And so I really think, even to this day, I think that was pretty formative, actually, that experience. Going forward, I was very lucky. Oh, God, there are. I feel like there's so many. Yeah, I think it's very important to have people who you trust around you in this career, and people that you can just call up and say, you know what do you think about this? I'm not sure. This is my instinct, but can you, tell me your thoughts? And so I have many people.
What have you noticed has been the biggest difference in operas in all the countries that you've been to and all the experiences that you've had? What exactly do you think is the biggest contrast that you've seen?
Right. So I would say that the differences between working, let's say, in Europe versus America, I think it's mostly having been full-time in an opera house in Germany. The one thing that I will say is different is just culturally, Germany, there's such an appreciation for the arts. It's part of their history. There's, I think, something like 83 publicly funded opera houses in Germany. That's kind of astonishing, right? I think it's something like 83. And so people will go to the opera just like they'll go to the cinema. And that enthusiasm and that attendance and that desire for the art form completely sets it apart. I think you just can't you can't recreate that anywhere else. And then because they have the funding, they can really be experimental, they can diversify, they can have so many different types of opera. I mean, in 1 week in Frankfurt, you might be able to see a world premiere, like a brand new piece, a completely never heard piece in your life of opera, together with La Bohème or Carmen or a Handel opera or what have you. So that doesn't exist to the same extent in the States. And then in America, they have fabulous singers, they have fabulous coaches, they have fabulous houses, but it's just, there's not enough for the number of people that want to sing there. And also because it's not publicly funded, mostly it's private. It's a lot of money is donated, and they have this amazing generosity from donors. But as a result, these people who are giving their wealth in order to provide this support for the art form, they often are also on the board of these companies, and they have a say in the type of operas that are performed. And often it leads to more conservative choices when they're coming up with repertoire. So you're more likely to be doing kind of the 10 greatest hits in the States. I mean, I'm speaking very generally. There's some amazing things happening in companies over there, but I'm just talking kind of more generally, that it would be the experience. Also on a practical level, I remember when I was performing in Boston, you would rehearse for maybe 3 to 4 weeks. And then at the end of the rehearsal process, maybe only get 3 to 4 performances. That was all that they could guarantee an audience for, and it would have been financially risky to put on any more performances. But therefore, you've studied and studied and studied, and you've gotten a role into your body. And I nearly feel sometimes it's only after performance 3 or 4 that I point, yes, okay, let's go, let's do it again, let's do it again. And in Germany, in Zurich, in Vienna, in wherever, mostly German-speaking countries, you get sometimes 7, 8 performances to really let the role kind of live with you, and that kind of performance experience and that stamina that you can build up is often more possible in Europe.
In the past, I guess that opera has been a thing that was usually for people that are high in class or that are really rich and things like that. But nowadays, I feel like everything is getting more accessible with technology, and just everything is just more available to people. So what do you think, to you, about, I guess, people getting involved in opera?
Well, first of all, at home, so I think Irish National Opera are doing an amazing job of bringing opera to people. So when they travel around the country, immediately, that is one way of bringing people in. And they're doing an incredible job of that. And also the fact that they are working with young people. I think it has to start on with educating young people, not even educating, just exposing them to this art form. I really do think that opera can be brought to people of all ages, all levels. It is this idea of the kind of the old-fashioned idea of it being upper class or non-accessible. Sure, it was there for a reason. I guess there was this idea that you had to learn all about it before you went. It was expensive to go, but now tickets are made so much more affordable, and there are lots of smaller scale projects where you can just like dip your toe in the water of opera. And opera is not, yes, as you say, it is in some ways quite specific, and yet in other ways it's got this huge range. And you know, if you go to see something like Bluebeard's Castle by Bartok, that's going to be a completely different experience to going and seeing brand new piece. Irish National Opera are doing that, so they're like going, here's a classic, here's Carmen, and here's what's happening in real life. Here's a new composer composing music that, yes, we're going to call opera. So it's music drama, and when you bring that to people of all ages, I think there's something for everybody.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about, again, just in the aspect of youth. So when you're going into opera, I was looking at the Britney Spears Young Artist program. So yeah, I just would like to know about that personally.
I attended the Britney Spears Young Artist program. I really wasn't prepared for how inspiring it would be. It was an incredible opportunity. What they did at the time was that, and I don't know if it's different nowadays, that's why I'm saying it was a while ago, but they used to run classes that were approximately 10 days long in different categories. So for instance, I did a course specifically studying French song with Malcolm Martineau. I did English song with Anthony Rolfe Johnson, did Handel, we did the Bach B minor Mass 1-2 apart. I think it was with Paul McCreesh. I mean, so many different people. I got to work with Anne Murray and all these really Bob Tier, this fantastic English tenor who specialized in English song. And so you could apply for all these courses and then decide to stay for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or however it worked. Yeah, but it was just the type of work that you got to do with these people, and it was small groups, and there was like 10 to 12 students, let's say, per class, and you really got to go deep into the repertoire, and it was a fabulous opportunity, really amazing.
How did it feel having something that you aspired to, something that you just really liked at first, turn into an actual job and to a source of income? Like, how did it feel kind of shifting from, I guess, getting an education in opera and that kind of thing to actually starting to make money from it?
For quite a while, even out of college and that transition from being a student to being a full-time professional and making your living from it. At the very beginning, I remember just always feeling so grateful for any sort of job. I didn't care, you know, what the money was. You know, you were just kind of thinking, oh my God, thank goodness, this is fabulous. This is a great opportunity. Yes, yeah, whatever, that's no problem. I'll sing, you know. So you were just so grateful. And when it changed, probably the most dramatic change was getting a position in the Fest ensemble in Opera Frankfurt. And that's when, in the best possible way, being a singer really felt like this was my job, because I had a monthly salary, health insurance, benefits, a base where I didn't have to travel from unless I wanted to, and that was great. I continued to travel, but it was still that I was always able to come back, if you like, to a home company. And having that stability financially was really fantastic, and that was the moment. And also I would say that what it did in a very strange way, which I didn't quite expect, is that having the stability financially and having this job meant that in a way, artistically, I felt freer, because there wasn't the constant pressure to, well, if you didn't do that last gig well enough, you're not going to be hired for the next. So this idea that you're only as good as your last performance, yes, to a certain extent, maybe it was still a little bit true. But the fact that you had a two-year contract, maybe a 3-year contract, meant that you could explore and even take risks with repertoire, try things on, see how they felt. If it didn't work, it wasn't the end of the world. The company still knew what you were capable of doing. And that was a massive benefit to working with Oper Frankfurt, because I got wonderful opportunities, and also the kind of the breadth of the repertoire that I covered there was so huge that I was able to just explore in a way that maybe I would never have been able to do if I was continuing from job to job as a freelancer. If you believe in something really passionately, and I do believe this, if you go for it, you work hard and you believe in it, then the opportunities will come, and hopefully therefore the money will follow.
I think that should be like the title card for this interview. How has, I guess, COVID-19 kind of impacted your experience with your performances and things?
My normal suddenly went completely out the window. It was very strange. It still is very, very strange. I kind of went from going, you know, like 200 miles an hour in this really great trajectory with project after project and dream making kind of roles, just like almost there, to suddenly nothing. I mean, from one day to the next, just nothing. There has been wonderful positives. You know, for a little while, I enjoyed the break. I was working very hard. And so even though my family travel with me wherever I go, it was lovely to just have that downtime with them all the time. But after a while, I would say that I felt like part of me was missing. And I really grieved the loss of music every day in my life. And I found it hard to motivate myself to practice. I didn't sing for a very long time. It's been hard, but I'm grateful. I'm back. I'm starting to get some work again, and it's happening. So I'm so grateful to the industry, to those that are supporting the arts. We have to support music and the arts and get people, you know, performing live with obviously all of the safety protocols that need to be in place. Have them in place, but you know, it's something that I think we need to really consider highly and place up on the list of priorities.
Yeah, I just wanted to look at also the Met, which is, in my opinion, like the Super Bowl of opera. So I just wanted to ask about how was that for you, because that's such a big thing.
It was very exciting, very, very exciting to sing at the Met. It was where I had seen all of the famous singers while I was a student, you know, visiting, and and to if you like, to make it there, it did feel like a milestone. It's, I think, the size of the stage, the grandeur of it all, that absolutely lends itself to having this, you know, extra element. But there's world-class opera happening in many houses all over the world. So I was thrilled, and I was so grateful, and I hope someday to get back there again to sing at the Met. It was in some ways a dream come true, but I'm just so grateful that I get to sing kind of at a level that is inspiring and challenging to me throughout the year.
Did you ever get stage fright as well? Because that's such a, I think it's just like a really big room and a really big space. So if you ever got stage fright and
I mean, the Met was definitely, it was definitely a huge space, and I only set foot on the Met stage 2 days before my debut. So actually, and the lights were up in the auditorium. That's what I remember. So if it were dark, I don't think I would have seen just quite how huge the stage was. But I think, thankfully, in the end, I was so excited because I felt as prepared as I could be. And what I really do try to think is that, well, if I have done everything that I could have possibly done in order to prepare for this moment, I really do try. It doesn't always work, but I really do try mentally, and beforehand I visualize what it's going to be like. So I try to really just take the time to go through how I'm going to feel like in the dressing room before going on, how I'm going to take that first breath before I sing those first notes, who's going to be on stage with me, which moment do I need to look at the conductor for that ensemble moment so that we don't go out of time. And if I really mentally go through it in advance, when it happens in the moment, I have a greater chance of absolutely being completely present and enjoying it. And there's so much to focus on with the character, intention, text, music, movement. There's so many layers that, thankfully, that you don't have time to be afraid. Yeah, of course it's natural to be nervous, and that's always going to be a part of most performers' lives. And actually, if I weren't, I think I'd probably be a little bit worried. But it's just it's so important to have the tools to deal with it, and to also just prepare in a way that then can just allow you to just go, right, here I am. This is a special moment, and I'm just going to go for it and enjoy it.
That's so inspiring. I think that, I guess, that kind of passion and that feeling kind of overrides the fear that you have or any anxiety that you might have going into whatever it is that you're doing. So yeah, I just have one last question. If you have any advice for just young people that are starting out in opera.
My advice to young people starting out in opera would be go for it. If it's something that you really love, work hard. Study languages if you can. That's something that I think is so important. You can do it as you're going along, but if you have some time, or if it's just somewhere in the background, I think it's just fabulous. Go ahead and learn a language that you're passionate about, and that can then help guide you in different ways. I think what advice? I think if you love, I think this is just advice in general. If you love something and if you're passionate about it, then I think you will naturally work hard. And if you will go for it and work hard and study and put all of this passion and hard work into it, then it will bring huge amounts of joy and rewards and it will be totally worth it. I will say there are moments when I've thought, "Ooh, this is tough." I mean, it's sometimes not easy at all, and that's why I do say that you have to really, really want it. But when you do, it doesn't feel like work. So, what I would say to young people is that when I'm singing and working with an inspiring group of colleagues, and I'm in the thick of something, and all I can think of, God, I'm lucky to be doing this, then I know I've done the right thing. But you do have to work hard, and it has to be something that you really, really want. I think that goes though for everything in life. So just if you want it and you really enjoy it, then go for it.
Thanks, Paula. That was such good advice, and this has been so much fun.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Absolute pleasure.